Throughout the interview, she said this was a busy department.
There's nothing for you.
It is for Jackie, because she keeps all the interesting work to herself.
Software catalogue for you. Morning.
Morning.
What's for you?
Yeah, yes, excellent trip. Really productive, well worth it. Just now, this morning. Yeah. Right, yeah. New investment yield rates, thought so, yeah. End of the week will be no problem, yeah. Okay, well don't worry. What's the date? Most of those figures should be ready by now anyway. Okay, cheers.
Unusual request? Robin, you know there's nothing wrong with your hearing.
All right, what have I done this time?
Well, nothing.
Glad to hear it.
Yes. Is it going to be a problem getting those figures together?
No, they should all be ready by the end of the week.
Anything I can do to help?
Oh, it's all right. Just to put them in another file, I expect. I don't understand this.
Something not quite as you'd expected.
Well, these are all last quarter's figures. Where's this period?
Problem?
Nothing I can't sort out. I just promoted Jackie to supervisor, and she's taking responsibility for this. So, anyway, I'm sure there's no real problem. She's very conscientious, and I've got every confidence in her, so I think I'll go and have a chat with her, actually. She probably needs some,
Coaching?
That's right, coaching. Some coaching.
Fine. Know all you need to know about coaching. Maintaining self-esteem, valuing people, etc. You know.
Thank you very much. I know exactly what's called for.
Good. Mind if I stick around? Not a lot on at the moment.
Be my guest.
Thanks.
Jackie, can I have a word with you?
Sure.
I think we've got a problem. Oh, by the way, you're a valued member of the department. I just thought I'd tell you that.
Thanks. You said there's a problem.
I can't seem to call up any figures from the investment fund. Are you on schedule?
Not quite, but there's no real problem. The report will be ready by the period end.
I'm sure it will be. But corporate accounting wants an interim report because of some changes they've made.
Oh.
If you're on schedule, most of those fund returns should be recorded by now.
I know that, but I'm a bit behind with some things. But I'll work late or come in at the weekend if necessary.
I promised them by the end of this week.
All right. I'll find a way and have it all ready by the end of the week, whatever happens.
I think it's better if you show me where you've got to and I decide the best way to deal with this. Right. Spend the rest of the day recording income from investments. Tomorrow and Wednesday, calculate the total investments in each sector and I'll do the rest myself.
There's no need to organise my time for me. You'll have your figures. Don't worry, I'll work late. When have I ever let you down?
Excuse me for interrupting.
Shh, not now.
No, it's all right. I've frozen time. So you can step back and take a clear look at what's happening. Jolly good, eh? So, let's have a look at that last encounter. That the result you wanted? Jackie upset, feeling threatened?
Not exactly. But these reports are new for her. She's bound to feel a bit vulnerable. If you hadn't interfered, she'd have come round eventually and seen the sense in what I was suggesting.
I'm not so sure about that. She's pretty upset. Look at her face.
I've never seen her look like that before.
Well, you tried to force a solution on her before she'd even admitted having a problem.
She doesn't think there is a problem, so what's the point in trying to get her to admit it? Just a waste of time, which, quite frankly, I haven't got.
You've got all the time you need. Time stopped. So stop.
All right. So Jackie's upset. But I've got no option. The information needs to be ready by the end of the week.
You have got options.
What, my way or Jackie's way?
Or my way.
Okay. What's your way?
Using coaching skills effectively, but first I want to look at the options you put forward.
Typical.
Jackie has a problem. Your response is to take work away from her and do it yourself. What could result from that?
The work will be ready on time, as far as I can see.
Maybe. What else? What could be the effects on Jackie?
She'll be relieved, I expect.
She doesn't look very relieved to me. Remember, she's newly promoted.
I guess she could feel cheated, although I've got no real faith in her.
What could the effects of that be?
Well, she'd feel demotivated, of no value. This is awful.
And what might happen then?
We should look for another job and leave. I can't allow that to happen. She's a real asset.
Then value her. What could happen if you let Jackie do it her way?
Work flat out and stay late. Well, there's a chance you'd get it all done, but it'd probably be...
Probably be what?
Rushed and full of errors. Figure work's hopeless when you're tired.
And the effects of an inaccurate piece of work?
Potentially disastrous. Other departments make investments based on those figures.
So bad investments based on your department's inaccurate output means...
I'm responsible. The fingers will point at me. My promotion prospects ruined on the heap at 30.
30?
32, you know what I mean. I'll never work again. My God, this is awful. I can't let that happen.
Well, it won't. Don't worry. So, what's left?
Coaching?
Good.
But in this situation, is there seriously time for coaching?
Your circumstances are ideal for coaching, and the results can save you time in the long run. Trust me, coaching breaks down into 3 key areas: the problem, the solution, and the follow-up. So, how do you think you'll tackle the first key area, the problem? Remember how Jackie reacted when you first mentioned the report being late?
Firstly, I need to get her to accept there actually is a problem, as you so skillfully did with me.
So, what won't you do?
Bulldoze? My approach will be gentler.
Good. That's right. So, introduce the subject in a non-threatening way. What then?
Use questions to look at the problem and its possible effects.
That's right. Use questions to clarify the problem.
What happened after that? I can't remember. It all got very worrying then.
Yes, didn't it? That's because I established a desire for a solution, but it was you who said that you wanted to solve the problem.
Oh, yes. So I did.
So, ready for another go?
Clean slate?
Clean slate. You haven't done any damage. Yet. I'll turn back time so Jackie'll have no memory of that little debacle. I'll turn it back so you're just about to come into her room.
Amazing.
Yes, it is rather good, isn't
Morning.
it? Ah, dear. Oops. Didn't quite get that right. I'd better check the manual.
I think you better had.
Anyway, that won't matter. Coaching can take place anywhere or at any time. She's on her way to the coffee machine.
What do you think?
Go for it. But remember, take it gently. Yeah?
Jackie! Oh, thanks. Those suggestions you gave me for the audit were excellent. Very well thought out. I passed them straight on to Pete Purkis.
Oh, thanks. I hope you put some of them into action.
I'm sure I will. I'll keep on at him. So how are the first quarterly reports shaping up?
All things are coming along okay. I'm fairly happy about it all.
Fairly happy?
Well, yes. First time and all that.
Of course. But you're not completely happy about their progress?
Well, not completely. Some things are taking me longer to finish than I imagined. I'm a bit behind.
Only Bob Myers has asked for an interim set of figures because of changes they've made to the investment yield rate.
When does he want them?
Well, I promised him by the end of this week, but that's before I checked to see what had been entered.
Well, you shouldn't have to check. They should be there, but they're not. I know. Look, don't worry. I'll get those figures for you by Friday lunchtime somehow.
Go on, follow her.
The schedule's obviously given rise to some difficulties. With me being away lately, we haven't had time to discuss things. What do you think's holding you up?
Well, I'm not sure. The volume of work, I suppose. And it's important for me the report's accurate, as it's the first time I'm responsible for it. Maybe I'm spending too much time checking things. I was here till 7 most evenings last week.
Well, that shouldn't be necessary. Whose work are you checking? Williams?
Yeah, as well as my own.
Well, you shouldn't have to do that. Surely he checks it.
Well, yes, he does, only I haven't had time to get to know his work well enough. And I don't want any mistakes in this report. Oh, it's not working, I know. You're right, I have got a problem.
If you aren't giving work to William, that means you're doing most of the work yourself. You don't want to stay here all night. What do you think will happen if you carry on this way?
Well, things won't get done. The report will be late and rushed. It'll reflect badly on the whole department. And on you, of course. No, I've got to do something about it.
What if we look at how we could get it all together by the end of this week?
Oh, yes, if you've got the time, that'd be great.
Right. What we need to do is get that group fund analysis ready by tomorrow at the latest.
Actually,
then,
I was
if you just let me
thinking-
finish, we do it my way. Once the group fund is entered, then we'll be able to... You're not listening to me. Ah, I see. I've gone wrong again, haven't I?
You were doing fine. You introduced the subject in a non-threatening way.
So how are the first quarterly reports shaping up?
All things are coming along okay. I'm fairly happy about it all.
Fairly happy.
You used questions to clarify the problem.
What do you think will happen if you carry on this way?
Well, things won't get done. The report will be rushed and late. It'll reflect badly on the whole department.
And you established a desire for a solution.
No, I've got to get it sorted out.
What if we look at how we could get it all together by the end of this week?
Oh, yes, if you've got the time, that'd be great.
And then it all broke down. You started pushing your ideas again, didn't you?
I had to. How else am I going to get her to listen to me? I have the experience, don't I? Oh, well, maybe you don't think so.
Oh, calm down a minute. You sent Jackie away on an expensive course in preparation for her new role.
I know that.
And you've said you've every confidence in her ability.
So?
Well, don't you think she might be capable of coming up with her own solutions?
It's possible.
The notion behind coaching is that you draw thoughts and ideas from the person rather than impose your own.
Yeah, that all makes sense. But what if Jackie hasn't got any ideas for a solution?
That might be the case, but you must give her the opportunity to offer one. That way, you've secured her involvement, her buy-in, if you like.
Buy-in? Yes, I like that.
Good. Now we're in our second key area, the solution. The first stage here is to seek her ideas. Off you go.
Hang on, what do you mean, off you go? How?
With questions. Ask her some more questions. She may have a solution even you haven't thought of.
Okay. Where will I find Jackie this time?
In a chair. Got it. Spot on.
You were saying you wanted me to...
No, I meant, what ideas have you got for getting the analysis done?
Oh, well, I've been thinking about a few things.
Good, yes.
First of all, I thought I should look at William's work experience, but that wouldn't help much now. Although I suppose I should look at that anyway.
So what ideas?
Well, now I've been thinking it through more carefully, I think... Yes, I'll speak to William, see what he's working on at the moment. The movements table is the first thing I must finish. I think there might be a way of speeding things up if I estimate... Although I wanted to avoid doing that.
Mm-hmm. Carry on.
Hello.
So what have I done this time?
You weren't paying attention
Oh, yes, I
to
was.
Jackie and what she was saying.
I was.
Your mind was on those papers.
Well, she's making a meal of it. Anyway, I was thinking about something I wanted to tell her.
Exactly. You were thinking about your own agenda. Respect her agenda. Listen to what she's saying.
I did. That's how I knew she was taking ages to get anywhere.
It's not good enough just to listen. You've got to listen actively. Keep eye contact to show you're listening by occasionally nodding, making encouraging noises.
Mm-hmm. Oh. Hmm. Oh. Mm-hmm. Is that it?
Oh dear, oh dear. Anyway, the most important thing is to check understanding. Reflect what she's saying in your own words. It moves things on, shows that you're both talking about the same thing.
All right. I know that's important. It's just it all takes so much time.
It saves time in the long run. Anyway, talking of saving time...
Oh, right, yeah, yeah.
No.
So, you said you want to see what William was doing so you could make more use of him.
Yes. You see, it's all very well to say I'll give William something like the variance analysis. But in order for him to do it properly, I have to spend time going over it with him. See, the problem is, with anything important, it's almost as quick for me to do it myself.
So when time's tight, you'd rather do it yourself than give it to someone else?
Yes. I feel like I'm in a catch-22 situation. I took William on to lighten my workload, but I haven't had time to get to know him, I haven't had time to train him, and I haven't got time to do all the work myself.
What do you feel would help?
More time. And I know we haven't got that.
Not now. But if we could find more time in the next week or so, how would you like to use it?
We'll teach William to do the work. Then I'd look for more areas to delegate, prepare him and so on.
So you could get up to date and stay on top of it?
Yes. But I need to sort out how I'm going to get up to date by Friday as well.
What ideas have you got?
Well,
Go on. Take your time.
well, estimates and shortcuts are no good.
Keep thinking. Go on. This is so painful. Why won't you let me sort it out and tell her what to do? It's all right. I know why.
So what are you going to do now?
You tell me, I don't know.
Come on. Keep thinking.
Look, I don't know.
Exactly. Neither did Jackie. No amount of questioning is going to help if someone hasn't got the answer.
So does this mean at last I'm allowed to tell her what I think she should do?
No, it means you're allowed to offer suggestions. Remember the buy-in. Keep it going.
I'm going. Jackie, can I suggest something that might help?
Sure.
You can't do it all yourself. You'll be exhausted. Why don't you delegate the work in a way that you'll trust it's being done properly?
Can I delegate upwards as well? Will you do the movements table this time?
All right.
That'd be such a help. I can get up to date with the funds, and William, with a bit of help, could do the analysis. Well, that should work.
So how's it all going to come together this week?
Well, I think I'll work with William on the analysis as soon as possible. Make it a priority.
Yep, you'll have to.
It shouldn't take longer than an hour or so. The group analysis is the most complicated one, but I think
Wow.
Oh, how pathetic. That was me. What's the matter now?
I know her suggestion won't work. She's going to rush the analysis. She'll never do it in an hour. Not properly, anyway. It'll take 3 or 4 at least.
I see. Well, use what she's got as a foundation. What you need to do is build on her ideas.
Oh, do I have to? All right. I have to. Jackie, can we go back to showing William the analysis? How confident are you he'll be able to take it all on board in an hour or so?
I suppose there is a risk. I can't really afford to delegate and have him get it wrong.
Let's keep your idea. Only give the whole morning to training William.
Yes, I suppose it could take that long. All right. And I've just thought about something else as well.
Good. What's that?
Why don't we consider getting Yvonne to do some of the accounts work?
What for?
It would allow me to delegate even more.
Hello. I take it you're not too happy about this idea. Not in line with your thinking, I suspect. But keep an open mind. It may just work. What about some...
Questions.
Good.
I know. So, what have you got in mind?
Twice Yvonne has asked if she could get more involved in work with the funds.
Go on.
So why don't I try her out going over the fund manager's administration costs?
That's fine if she has the interest and ability.
I'll supervise her, or William could for that matter. Then I should be able to cope with the movements table and free up the whole of tomorrow morning to get William started with the analysis. Well, then you can just make the coffee. Can I sort this problem out for myself? I'm confident now I can get those figures to you by Friday lunchtime. I'll keep you well informed of the progress.
Oh, go on. Trust her.
All right.
Thank you. I won't let you down.
Captured in perpetuity.
As every moment is. I'll show you now what good work you've just set down in history. First, we agreed you would seek her ideas and not impose your own.
You were saying you wanted me to...
No, I meant, what ideas have you got for getting the analysis done?
Then you listened actively and checked your understanding.
But in order for him to do it properly, I have to spend time going over it with him. See, the problem is, with anything important, it's almost as quick for me to do it myself.
So when time's tight, you'd rather do it yourself than give it to someone else?
Yes.
You offered suggestions when Jackie had none.
You can't do it all yourself. You'll be exhausted.
Why don't you delegate the work in a way that you'll trust it's being done properly?
And finally, you built on ideas she did have.
I suppose there is a risk. I can't really afford to delegate and have him get it wrong.
Let's keep your idea. Only give the whole morning to training William.
Now we've arrived at the third key area, the follow-up. First, set some review dates, and then confirm support.
OK. When should we check all these ideas are working?
Well, with regard to this week, why don't we meet at the end of each day?
OK. And the long term?
Towards the beginning of next month, we should be able to gauge how well William and Yvonne are coming along. Shall we meet on Monday the 2nd to assess how well it's all going?
That's OK. We also need a way to measure everyone's progress.
I'll set goals for all of us, which we'll monitor at the end of each month. My first objective will be no more late nights and working weekends.
Do you know, I think this has been really productive, Jackie. Is there anything else I can do to smooth the way for you?
Could you arrange for Kathy to take over the phones from Yvonne just for the next few days?
That shouldn't be a problem.
Thanks.
See how logical it all is.
Hey, William, that new column you put in showing the annualised yield was a really good idea.
Thanks. It was always included in the reports we studied at college.
Robin was really pleased. He wants to keep it in.
I've been thinking about some new programs I could write, speed up some of the processes, get the report out quicker. But I need to be more familiar with it all.
All right. Well, I'm going to set aside some time next week for us to go through all the systems thoroughly.
Yeah, that'd be good.
I'll come and talk to you about it later.
Good. No problem at all. Those figures were ready anyway. That extra column, exactly what I thought. I knew you'd find it useful. OK, Bob. Anytime. Bye.
So, coaching saved the day.
Yes, it did that all right. Oh, I'm glad you've dropped in. There's something I wanted to ask you about.
In a minute. First, let's recall the basic tenets of successful coaching.
OK. First, the problem. Introduce the subject in a non-threatening way. Then, use questions to clarify the problem. Finally, establish a desire for a solution. When looking for a solution, seek ideas. Listen actively. Check understanding. Offer suggestions. Then, build on ideas. To continue the coaching cycle, follow up by confirming support and setting review dates. Now, about this other...
So, that's it. With good listening and questioning skills, you'll be an effective coach in any situation.
Thanks very much. I must admit I couldn't have done it without you.
That was nothing. Only too glad to help. You're hard work sometimes, but you're worth it.
Good. Because before you go...
Before I go what?
Well, you've helped me out more than once in the past.
Several times.
But I've never quite known who... I mean, well...
Yes?
Who are you, anyway? Well?
If I gave you all the answers, I wouldn't be an effective coach. Work it out for yourself.
OK. How long have I got?
Years.
What?
I don't think I'll be through with you for quite a while.
Why?
Well, you may have coaching sorted, but you're not quite perfect.
What else do I need help with?
I've got to fly.
Hang on,
Bye.
hang on. I've got an office to run. I can't just have you freezing time whenever you jolly well...
Robin, trust me.
Typical.